What is going on, guys? Tomorrow is finally the day in Season 6 where we get the aftermarket and crossplay. So in this video, I'm just going to go over all of the balancing changes, like the Pathfinder buff, the Loba buff, all of that good stuff, guys, the weapon meta changes, and some really cool additional features that we are getting with tomorrow's update. So my friends, I really hope you enjoy this. I'm Alarmix, and let's get right into it. So my friends, to start it off, I'm going to read off what they did to Pathfinder on the patch notes. Grapple cooldown is now based on the distance Pathfinder traveled. The shortest possible pull has a 10-second cooldown. The maximum cooldown is still 35 seconds, but you're going to have to swing a very long distance to get there. Have fun out there, friends. So this was a really interesting move to Pathfinder. So overall, it sounds like there's going to be like a grapple drain energy, as in the farther you go, the more it's going to drain it. The less far you go, the less it's going to drain it. So I think this kind of lowers the skill gap of Pathfinder. Now, really bad players, when they only get the tiniest of grapple, they can grapple again pretty quickly. Plus, I think it'll add some style to Pathfinder. You know, when you see a really good Pathfinder player, you know, grapple across the map, I just think it makes Pathfinder a little bit more interesting overall. I think this was a pretty good compromise between the 15-second grapple cooldown and the 35-second. To the best of the best Pathfinder players out there, this probably doesn't mean a whole lot, but to the large majority of the population, I think, you know, this is a pretty awesome change. There was also a change to Bloodhound in this upcoming update. So Bloodhound, with all of the buffs that this character received at the beginning of the season, it was pretty awesome just how often you could scan, you know, especially when you're using that ultimate ability. At the beginning of this season and, you know, until now, you could scan every 6 seconds while you had Bloodhound's ultimate ability activated, but now in this upcoming update, they're making it to where you can only scan every 8 seconds. Lately, I've been running into so many Bloodhound mains. So far this season, I've just been constantly getting scanned, so I really don't think Bloodhound needed a buff, but, you know, the developers wanted to go there, and I think this is an okay move, so that's pretty cool. So now moving on to the changes that we received to Wraith. These were not your average everyday Apex Legends meta changes with the legends. This was definitely the developers thinking outside of the box, because guys, Wraith has always been such a great choice as a legend for so long in Apex, and the developers, they have messed with Wraith's abilities a little bit to try to make her a little bit less strong, and overall that really hasn't worked, so they had to look in other areas. So they actually ended up changing how Wraith runs. You know, she has the Naruto run, which is where she's kind of hunched forward, and this actually ends up making her hitbox smaller. You know, Wraith, she's already the smallest legend, but then her run made her even smaller. So tomorrow, they're supposed to be introducing a new run for Wraith. I'm pretty sure we do not know what this run is going to look like, but it should make Wraith's hitbox just a little bit bigger and make Wraith maybe a little bit less strong. I mean, guys, I would way rather have Wraith as a meta legend versus Caustic, but I mean, Wraith is just such a good legend. Like, when you're that good, you just have to do something to it. Crypto's drone can now open loot vaults. If Crypto has a key in his inventory, it consumes the key as usual. So my friends, if you're running to a vault to open it and you have a key and you have Crypto, you can now save maybe 0.2 seconds with that vault opening and keep on going. This is the most minor change to Crypto ever, but all of these additional ways that they're using Crypto's drone to interact with the world is super awesome. So my friends, Loba, who is suffering in the legend meta, finally got the changes that she deserved. They increased the range on her ultimate and passive from 3,100 units to 4,500 units. Loba also now starts the match with her ultimate half charged. So for my subscribers out there, they will know that I was talking about Loba in a previous video. We were looking on Reddit and the developers discussing on how they actually want to go about buffing Loba. They're kind of saying that the way that Loba's tactical ability is designed, it's really hard to change how it actually works without coming up with a bunch of bugs. They were saying that they should buff her passive and ultimate ability before they buff the tactical. So these changes of extending the range and having her ultimate ability half charge when you drop into the match, I think are pretty clean changes. My friends, Loba might still lack a little bit with her tactical ability because, you know, I mean, you throw the thing, you have to sit there completely exposed. Everyone knows exactly where you are and where you're going. So I think there's still going to be maybe some problems with her tactical ability. But I think one of the biggest former problems of Loba's ultimate ability is that when you drop into the match, when you actually need loot, you know, the ultimate, it still has to charge and you're not going to get that loot for quite a while with her ultimate. So now that is half solved and Loba should be pretty much a decent bit more useful. In tomorrow's Season 6 update, we're getting the most minor change to Rampart. They increased the rate at which Sheila's bullets spread tightens. So guys, just very quickly, I want to discuss what I think about Rampart so far. I think they kind of messed up just a little bit with Rampart on her power. I would rather have a little more overpowered legend released so everyone is using that brand new legend and the game feels completely different. But so far, I think this new legend release was a little bit like the Loba release. Rampart is really not as good as some of the more top tier legends in Apex. When they release a new legend, in my opinion, this is just my personal take on everything, I would rather have it be more overpowered than underpowered. I mean, is it just me, or is like the Rampart legend release just a little bit less than the others? I'm sure there's a million snowflakes just super triggered. Oh my god, Alarmix hates Rampart. But I mean, really, I think the next legend, Velk, which will be able to fly, will be a little bit more cool, but it's good that they're giving Rampart some love here. So that is about it for the legend buffs and nerfs. There were some changes to the weapons, so I'm gonna go over that really quickly. For the devotion, they increased the hipfire spread at a base level and also increased the spread added while firing. And in the patch notes, they're kind of talking about how they want to keep the hipfire spread consistent across the LMG class. So they are doing the same, increasing the hipfire spread on the Spitfire. But to make sure the Spitfire isn't nerfed, they are also reducing the horizontal recoil on the Spitfire. They want the Spitfire to be the entry level gun into Apex, to where you don't have to hit a lot of shots, so even if you have horrible aim, you still have a go-to weapon. And they're also saying in some previous patch notes that to make sure that this is the go-to weapon for beginners, they want to make sure that the horizontal recoil is really not that big. So pretty cool change here. My friends, the day has come. They nerfed a sniper in Apex Legends. Who thought that would ever happen? They reduced the fire rate on the triple take from 1.4 to 1.3. The triple take was absolutely insane before this patch, and I'm sure it'll be absolutely insane after this patch. Guys, the triple take is just such a great gun to have off the drop. You don't need attachments to make the thing go. This thing already has the precision choke, remember, installed on it by default. And I believe, fun fact, you can actually toggle the precision choke off, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why you'd want to do that, maybe to be a little bit more stealthy, but there you go if you didn't know that. My friends, due to high demand, loot prompts now show how much damage an Evo Shield has accumulated, so you can make a much better decision when switching. You will now be able to switch to the same level armor if it is closer to evolving. I found a couple of scenarios where swapping between each armor is a little bit annoying because it won't let you, so this should make it just a little bit easier. I think this is more for the next generation of consoles. There's now going to be a new heads-up display. This heads-up display is going to display FPS, latency, your packet loss, your choke, and your in and out. So, you know, being that the next consoles are going to hit 144 FPS supposedly, this is probably going to be pretty cool for them next-gen Apex players. So, my friends, I think that's going to about wrap up this video. Yeah, these are all the main changes that you have to know about. I think I'm going to make another video a little bit later, so make sure you're subscribed. My friends, all of the latest breaking news is on this channel. You know, that breaking news that the people, my alarm you want. I'm coming through for you guys. Make sure you're subscribed. And anyways, people, that'll be about it for me, the Alarmix, and I hope to see you in another video.